Magical moments.
What's happening around the world?
And what's happening here at home? A very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Rochelle Tumodre.
And I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Iran's president to visit Sri Lanka tomorrow. 5 agreements to be inked alongside the opening of Umaoya. Chinese Communist Party delegation meets NPP in Colombo. Indian spiritual delegation following the Ramayan trail visit Hanuman Kovil in Ramboda. Sajid responds to NPP, calls for debates between leaders and economic councils in May. Sirasa Namami heads to the islet of Nagadeepa to mark Bak Poya. Sri Lanka's star batter Chamaryatapattu becomes top-ranked batter in ICC Women's ODI rankings.
I want your top story for tonight. Now today our attention is drawn to significant events in international geopolitics, particularly concerning Sri Lanka.
Now, the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Dr. Ibrahim Raisi, has garnered global interest.
His official bilateral visit to Sri Lanka is scheduled for tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, Dr. Ibrahim Raisi, the President of Iran, is slated to touch down at the Mattala International Airport. He is to inaugurate the hydropower plant within the Umaoya multi-purpose project. Following this event, President Raisi will proceed to Colombo, where an official reception awaits him in the afternoon. During this event, 5 bilateral agreements will be signed and the presidents of both nations will grace this occasion with their presence.
His Excellency Dr. Ibrahim Raisi, the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, will be paying an official visit to Sri Lanka on Wednesday, April 24th at the official invitation of His Excellency Ranil Wickremesinghe, the Honorable President of Sri Lanka. During this visit, the two presidents will discuss various fields of bilateral relations, including on political, economic, and cultural matters. Additionally, they will jointly inaugurate the Umaoya Multipurpose Development Project on the same day. Also, the accompanying ministers during this visit will sign 5 documents related to bilateral relations with their Sri Lankan counterparts.
Dr. Ibrahim Raisi, currently serving as the President of Iran since 2021, previously held the esteemed position of Chief Justice of Iran from 2019 to 2021. Dr. Raisi served as the Attorney General of Iran during the years 2014 to 2016. Tomorrow, he will conclude his 3-day visit to Pakistan and will arrive in Sri Lanka. Pakistan and Iran have agreed to increase the volume of bilateral trade to $10 billion in the next 5 years, following the signing of as many as 8 agreements and memorandums of understanding for cooperation in different areas. The agreements included cooperation in security, judicial assistance in civil matters, and veterinary and animal health. The ceremony was witnessed by the Iranian President and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. The two countries signed an MOU for establishment of a special economic zone, whilst another was signed for film exchanges and cooperation between Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and Organization of Cinema and Audiovisual Affairs of Iran. Media reports also suggested that attention was drawn towards the Iran-Pakistan gas pipeline project. During this visit, both Iranian and Pakistan leaders have pledged their support to Palestine. Punjab has also announced a public holiday in Lahore today to avert traffic issues for the general public amid Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi's visit to the city. Later, the Iranian President is expected to visit Karachi, where the University of Karachi will award an honorary doctorate degree to him. The United States Navy, US Marine Corps and Sri Lanka Navy continued to partner for the Cooperation of Float Readiness and Training or CARAT Sri Lanka 2024 exercise, which will take place until the 26th of April. CARAT Sri Lanka will feature the expertise of the US Fleet Anti-Terrorism Security Team, a US Marine Corps unit specialized in security and anti-terrorism for naval assets, engaging alongside their Sri Lanka Navy Marine counterparts on a full spectrum of naval capabilities. As the President of Iran prepares for his visit to the country, today saw the arrival of Sun Haiyan, Vice Minister of the International Department of the Chinese Communist Party, in Sri Lanka for a two-day engagement. Tasked directly by the Central Committee, the apex decision-making body of the Chinese Communist Party, the International Division, assumes the pivotal role of nurturing and fostering relationships with foreign political entities and organizations. Sun Haiyan assumed her role as Vice Minister in 2023, following her tenure as the Chinese ambassador to Singapore. Her tour in Sri Lanka today commenced with a meeting at the Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna headquarters, where she engaged with Anura Kumara Dissanayake, the leader of the National People's Power. Accompanying Sun Haiyan were a cadre of officials, including the Deputy Director General of the department, the Counsellor of the Chinese Embassy in Sri Lanka, as well as key figures from the International Affairs Department of the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese Embassy in Sri Lanka. Representing the National People's Power were notable figures including National Executive Members Vijitha Herath, Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Professor Anil Jayantha Fernando and Sunil Handunetti. The meeting delved into discussions on the prevailing political landscape, forthcoming elections and prospective scenarios. Emphasis was placed on the imperative of fostering political stability to navigate the country through the current crisis, particularly concerning the preparations of the National People's Power for the upcoming elections and the corresponding strategies to be deployed. Prior to the formal gathering, the Chinese delegation engaged in a focused dialogue with local party leaders at the National People's Power Colombo District Office in Maharagama, centered on district level and divisional level political dynamics and initiatives.
In more local news, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Kurunegala District Coordination Office, which was set on fire and destroyed during the Aragalaya, was rebuilt and declared open this morning.
The District Coordination Office was declared open today, chaired by leader of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. SLPP National Organizer Namal Rajapaksa, SLPP Kurunegala District Leader Johnston Fernando and several public representatives were present for the occasion.
My grandfather's grave was destroyed. The houses we lived in were set on fire. I believe there is no use of hating these children. It is easy to be misled, but as adults, it is our responsibility to explain the reality to those children. I think the youth of this country is intelligent. We should give them a chance to see the world with an open mind. That is the vision of our political party. We are on a modernized journey. In the recent past, a system change was spoken of. That is a slogan of some youth. The SLPP is ready to start the program for the system change. I believe the SLPP is the political party of the modern generation. We will win a majority. People have not left us. They only became silent. They think we left ministerial posts and fled. We didn't. We were asked to resign. It was not through the Aragalaya. The people of the country will know who asked us to resign. If anyone thinks he will contest from the SLPP and he led us to victory, we will not speak of it now. I will reveal it in the future. Today, many people expect Namal Rajapaksa to become the leader of the SLPP after Mahinda Rajapaksa. That is our collective wish. We walk among the villages and the people are with us. Therefore, the SLPP will emerge victorious at whichever election is held next. Namal Rajapaksa revived this party. He is holding the most suitable position as national organizer of this party. He is also the future leader of this party and of this country. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was chased away, and Mahinda Rajapaksa was asked to resign as Prime Minister. Ministers were assaulted, and their vehicles and property were burnt and destroyed. That is in the past. Can they throw us into the water now? I dare you to do it. This is a historic year. This year will see the next executive president of this country being elected and the next parliament being established. It is enough to win 113 seats in parliament alone. We are not greedy. They ask if the SLPP will rise alone if a presidential election is held next. To tell you in one digit, even if you cut 50% of the 6.9 million votes won last time, that is 3.5 million. Is there a party that can start with 3.5 million votes?
Swami Govind Dev Giri Maharaj, the treasurer of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Trust in Ayodhya, who is on a visit to the country to strengthen Indo-Sri Lanka relations based on the Ramayana, visited the Ramboda Bhakti Hanuman Kovil in Nurelia.
Swami Govind Dev Giri Maharaj and his delegation were welcomed by the administration of the Ramboda Hanuman Kovil. Governor of the Eastern Province, Sendil Thondaman, Minister Jeevan Thondaman, among others, were present for this event.
Today it's Hanuman Jayanti, and therefore we perform Hanuman Puja. Tomorrow we shall perform Janaki Mata, Sita Mata Puja. The people here who are having total faith in the same culture which we call Sanatan culture, Indian culture, Sri Lanka and India, Bharat, have got historical, cultural, emotional bondage. I pray Lord Hanuman and also Bhagavan Sri Ram that again these bonds of Bharat, that is India and Sri Lanka, be strengthened more and more. People talk of Sri Lanka of Ravan. I always say Sri Lanka of Vibhishan. Mind well, it's Vibhishan who is the real hero of Sri Lanka. He always stood for the right deeds, and he went to Sri Ram to save Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka was saved because of Vibhishan. We in Bharat, India, have a very staunch belief that Vibhishan is one of our 8 Chiranjivas who are immortal. Ashwathama, Balir, Vyaso, Hanumauscha, Vibhishanaha, Kripaparashuramascha, Shadaite, Saptaite Chirajivinaha, Markandeyam Athashtamam. Here we met the Buddha Dharma Gurus. We went to Buddha Viharas, we went to Buddha preachers, priests, Buddhism, Hinduism, Sri Lanka, Bharat, that is India, they are all expression only of one culture. The culture is one, the expressions are different. We must keep on strengthening the emotion of oneness by meeting each other, by helping each other, by cooperating with each other and giving this to our next generation, that we, the Indians and Sri Lankans, are one and one alone.
The Sri Ramayan Trails aims to transform 9 key sites across Sri Lanka into world-class monuments, epitomizing the spiritual and historical essence of the epic Ramayana. These locations, including Adams Bridge in Mana Basin, Ashoka Vatika in Sita Eliya, Valimada Durumpola, Usangoda National Park, Rumassala in Gaul, Koneswaram in Trincomalee, Manavari Temple in Chilau, Ravana Cave in Alda, and the Kataragama Ramayana Trail will serve as a platform for sacred pilgrimage. The project is slated with an initial investment of $50 million.
On a day like today, Lord Buddha graced Nagadeepa with his presence.
During that auspicious visit, the Sri Sadharma sermon was delivered to the Naga tribes, emphasizing that hatred cannot be extinguished by more hatred.
The Sirasa Namami programs organized to mark Bak Poya were held since morning at the historic isles of Nagadeepa.
Venerable Navadagala Padmakirti Tissa Thero, the chief incumbent of the Nagadeepa temple and the chief Sanganayaka of the north, presided over the Poya Day programs. These events were supported by the Sri Lanka Navy as well. Prior to commencing the Poya Day programs, Atasil was observed. The Viharasana program that discusses the rich history of the Nagadeepa Rajamaha Viharya commenced thereafter. Venerable Balabove Vimalakirti Tissa Thero, the chief judicial Sanganayaka of the Ambagahapitiya chapter of the Sri Lanka Amarapura sect, presided over the Sirasa Damsara program. At the same time, the Maitri Bosat statue, placed at the Vihara premises, was officially unveiled. The event was graced by Navy Commander Vice Admiral Priyantha Pereira and Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group, Shevan Daniel, among others. At the same time, a special painting depicting Lord Buddha's second visit to the island nation was unveiled.
The Sirasa Media Network has supported us in every possible way, whenever possible. During the COVID pandemic, the Sirasa Media Network was instrumental in delivering food, rations and even medicine to the people living in these islands. I am thankful to all in the Sirasa Media Network, the Navy Commander, all those in the Navy, including the Navy Chief of the North.
One of the main reasons that the Sirasa Media Network has decided to conduct these special programs on Poya Days in different parts of the country is to make sure that we protect Theravada Buddhism in Sri Lanka, because we believe that the Dhamma is what our great civilization is based on. It is the foundation. And unless the Dhamma is protected, it will be very difficult for us to protect the culture that has been derived out of the Dhamma. And that is the reason that the Sirasa Media Network has invested its time and energy traveling from town to town, city to city, village to village, particularly on Poya Day, making sure that the temples in particularly rural parts of Sri Lanka are offered the protection and offered the support required to make sure that Dhamma is protected.
To mark the birthday of the chief incumbent of the Nagadeepa Rajamaha Viharya, equipment was provided to the school band of the Naga Pushani Vidyalaya and a cash award was presented to a student who excelled in the scholarship exam. Famous Sri Lankan artist Hemantha Warakapitiya's painting as well as a relic casket were also donated to the Nagadeepa Viharya. Furthermore, the Thurunusita program targeting the youth took place at the premises. Venerable Kutikulame Prema Alankara Thero and Venerable Agunotshiye Kumara Kassapa graced the Satpyuma program, which also saw the participation of Vasanta Dugganarala and lyricist Mahinda Chandrasekhara.
News First with the people. Wins the debate.
The Sajid Anura debate has been a keen topic of interest.
The National People's Power officially communicated to the Samagi Janabalavega yesterday, proposing several potential dates for this significant event.
Now the question remains, is the Samagi Janabalavega prepared to engage in this debate on any of these proposed days?
Here's what the NPP said about the debate. Yesterday, the National People's Power dispatched a formal letter to Ranjit Madhumu Bandara, the General Secretary of the SJB. The purpose was to propose several potential dates for an eagerly awaited debate between Sajid Premadasa and Anurakumar Disanayaka. Proposed debate dates: May 7th, May 19th, May 13th, May 14th. In this letter, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, appointed by the NPP to coordinate this event, outlined that once a date is selected, further logistics can be ironed out, including time, duration of the debate, venue and broadcast channel. If the SJB does not concur with this proposed debate, the NPP has requested prompt communication regarding their stance.
Wins the debate.
Today in Veerakatiya, opposition leader Sajid Premadasa responded to the NPP. He stands prepared to engage in a debate alongside the Economic Council debate in the upcoming month of May.
අපේ පක්ෂයේ නලින් බණ්ඩාර මැතිතුමා ආර්ථික ශේෂ්ත්‍රයේ විවාදයකට එන්නේ කියලා
Nalin Bandara from our party has thrown down the gauntlet, inviting a certain group of individuals to engage in a debate on economics. However, this group seems to have evaded the challenge posed by economic experts, opting instead for a showdown between leaders. They have proposed dates for it as well. We are ready for both debates in May. However, do not evade from this. Do not retreat into cowardice. Accept both challenges. Let's hold both debates, the debate between the leaders and the debate between the economic councils in May. We are ready for that. Are those groups afraid due to lack of knowledge or vision? We eagerly await their response. Instead of engaging in letters back and forth, agree to debate in May.
ලිපි හරඹවල නියැලෙන්නේ නැතුව මැයි මාසය තුල දෙකටම එකඟ වෙන්න. අපි සූදානම් දෙකම කරන්න.
Wins the debate.
MP Nalin Bandara, entrusted with coordination of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya for the debate, said the party stance will be communicated to the NPP via a letter.
In the letter, certain dates unilaterally chosen by them have been highlighted for the anticipated debate between the two leaders in May. However, there's a notable absence of any mention regarding the Economic Council debate. We anticipate resolving this discrepancy swiftly, aiming to allocate time within the upcoming parliamentary sessions, spanning 4 days, with 3 days slated for tomorrow. Specifically, we aim to engage Nalinda Jayatissa in parliamentary deliberations, ideally on either the 25th or 26th, to finalize our schedule. Our objective is to accommodate both the anticipated debate between the two leaders and the critical discussions within our economic committees. We need to agree on conducting both these debates.
අපේ ආර්ථික කමිටුව සූදානම් කියන කාරණේ ප්‍රධාන දේ තමයි අපි එකක වෙන්න ඕන ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේ විවාද දෙකම පවත්වනවා කියන එක.
දින 4ක් මේ වෙලා
ඔව්.
ඒ දින 4 තුලද සිදු කරන්නේ
නෑ නෑ නෑ. ඒ දින 4 කේසියටත් අපි සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාට සූදානම් වෙන්න විදියක් නෑ. මොකද එතුමා දැනට වැඩ යොදාගත්තු වැඩ තියෙනවා. මේ විදිහට වැඩසටහන් ගණනාවක් ඒ දින 4 ඇතුළත තියෙනවා. ඒක පාර්ශවීය දින 3ට හරියන්නේ නෑ.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the peril of politicizing education, warning that such a move would inevitably lead to the nation's downfall.
These remarks were made during his address at the 10th Biennial Conference of the All Island Professional Lecturers Association.
The 10th Biennial Conference of the All Island Professional Lecturers Association was held at the Nelumpokuna Theatre in Colombo this afternoon.
දැන් මේ තත්ත්වයේ ඉඳන් අපි කොහොමද ඉදිරියට යන්නේ?
How will we move forward from here? We have gleaned valuable insights from the recent economic downturn and are steadily recovering. There's still a group that is facing hardships. During the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, it was clear that some people now have money. However, in order to develop this and resolve the issue, we cannot continue with the old economic system. We are in this situation because we obtain loans. Now we are taking steps to avoid domestic debt. We are an import-based economy, so our imports are more than our exports. We have to obtain loans each year. Even if we resolve this today, if we don't change this economic system, the economy will fall again in 10 to 15 years. We need to create a suitable education system. Do not politicize education. Regardless of how we score in this political game, it is the country that will lose. So step out of it and think of the system. We must look at a suitable education system for 2050 and discuss it within the next 2 to 3 years. That won't be the final decision. There will be other technological advancements thereafter, and we will look at those and move forward.
ඊට පස්සේ තාක්ෂණ වෙනස්කම් ඇති වෙයි. ඒවත් බලාගෙන අපි ඉදිරියට යන්න.
Dr. K.R. Singha, founding member of the All Island Professional Lecturers Association, along with other senior teachers, was presented with the Senior Lecturers Award by the President. Ravindra Bandara, President of the association, presented a commemorative gift to President Ranil Wickremesinghe, the chief guest of the conference.
Sri Lanka police opened fire on a three-wheeler that was being driven in defiance of orders to stop early this morning, resulting in the death of 2 people.
According to the statement from the police media spokesman's office, an incident unfolded around 1:50 am this morning. At a police roadblock situated at the Meegoda Beruketia junction, officers attempted to check a three-wheeler. However, the occupants of the vehicle opened fire on the police officers and fled towards Muragaha Hena. A team of officers from the Colombo South Crime Division had arrived in the area for an unrelated investigation. They too attempted to halt the three-wheeler, but it persisted in its escape.
Due to an issue or a sudden surge in speed, the three-wheeler veered off the road, coming to an abrupt halt. At that moment, one person got off and opened fire at the police. The police officers had returned fire.
The shooting had taken place near the tyre factory on the Moragahe and Meepi road, and 2 individuals were shot and injured. Tragically, they succumbed to their injuries after being admitted to the Horena hospital. The police report stated that a third individual, who was also in the three-wheeler, is suspected to have fled the scene. Additionally, a firearm was discovered within the three-wheeler. Of the deceased, one was a deserter from the army, aged 36, and a resident of Mattegoda. The other, aged 42, hailed from Thanamalwila and had been released on bail after previous involvement in a shooting incident.
Detectives suspect that the group were prepared to commit murder and it was being orchestrated by someone residing overseas. This is because of their connection to a drug trafficker residing overseas.
The Sri Lankan Army has decided to appoint a 7-member committee to investigate the tragic accident that took place at the Foxhill Supercross in Diathalava on Sunday, the 21st.
Major General Rasika Kumara, the Army spokesperson, announced the formation of this committee, which operates under the leadership of another Major General. Their mission is to delve into the incident's root causes, identify those responsible, and assess whether adequate security measures were in place for the spectators. Simultaneously, Major General Rasika Kumara revealed that the comprehensive investigation report will be submitted to the Army Commander on the 10th of May. As a consequence of the accident, 18 individuals are currently receiving medical attention. 10 of them are under the care of the Badula General Hospital, while the remaining 8 are at the Diathalava Hospital. The remains of Chamath Niroshan, a resident of Siduwa who died in the accident, was brought to his home this morning. 19-year-old Chamath was a student of Harishchandra College in Negombo, who was awaiting A-level results after sitting for the exam from the commerce stream last year. His final rites are scheduled to be performed in Siduwa tomorrow afternoon. The remains of Shantha Upali Gamage, a resident of Rahula Cross Road in Mathura, and Ganesh Jawardhana, a resident of Godagama Mathura, were placed in a private funeral parlour in Mathura this morning. Their final rites were performed this afternoon at the Mathura Public Cemetery. The remains of 8-year-old Shiva Kumar Dinushika and her grandfather Muttusami Udayakumar, who resided in the Daraba Lower Division in Valimada, were brought home last night. Their final rites will be performed tomorrow in Daraba, Valimada.
Former Minister Ravi Karunanayake believes President Ranil Wickremesinghe will contest the upcoming presidential election as an independent candidate.
Wins the election.
There is a difference between politicians and leaders. Even though anyone can be a politician, not everyone can be a leader. A leader needs to have the vision and the creativity to push the country forward. And today, you see it in front of you. We will definitely present him as an independent candidate and we trust him. You will receive a comprehensive answer for your question in the coming days.
Wins the election.
Director General of Trade Unions to the President Saman Ratnapriya visited the Sri Dhamma Samadhi Temple following his appointment as the Kasbah electoral organizer of the United National Party.
I recall a time when our country faced immense hardship. People stood in long queues and children's education was disrupted. There was no clear leadership, while the current leader, Ranil Wickremesinghe, stepped up to take charge. He has demonstrated strong leadership qualities. Back then, there was a scarcity of food and water. While prices are still a bit high, there's at least enough food available for people now. This is a credit to Ranil Wickremesinghe's leadership. The country's future depends heavily on his decisions and our collective efforts. There's no solution for the future without working together with him.
A forum on HR capabilities for business excellence took place in Colombo last evening. The Finance Report has the details.
The Newsfirst Finance Report.
HR capabilities for business excellence by the HR think tank in Sri Lanka featured a diverse range of speakers.
Right, people are so banks, corporates, the country is preoccupied with what? With the twin deficit, the balance of payment deficit and the fiscal deficit. But what led to this crisis is the crisis of good governance. Now, crisis of good governance means good governance starts with having round pegs in round holes. So that exemplifies the importance of HR. Whether it's nation Sri Lanka, or whether it's a corporate, or whether it's a listed company or unlisted company. So that means that brings us to an important one word that is about meritocracy. The word meritocracy. What Singapore embraced, the word meritocracy, again having right people in right places.
The event also featured views on leadership.
Increasingly what we find with the new type of leadership that is required, taking it to an extreme of, uncompromising servant leadership. What it then transpires is, what it requires, you can continuously learn. So it's nature and nurture. So nature also needs to be nurtured as we move on. So it's important that you realize whether you had some inherent skills, inherent, in your upbringing and some advantages still in keeping with the times, the organization and the people around you. There is constant learning that is taking place. So my view is, leaders can continuously learn and can be made and need to be on a continuous growth pattern.
Digital transformation was another avenue explored during the event.
Digital transformation is how we use technology and tools to simplify process, also to understand consumers and run business better. HR's role is, like Paras said, putting the square into the today's square. It won't be the same square, and the round peg into the round hole, but and make sure to understand where the transformation of capabilities or what it means, that role would mean. Because with digital transformation, the roles would change for sure. Because what we did as a role before, today, like for example, last time I think somebody said at some form, when I was auditing as an accountant, I lifted ledger books and wrote one entry here and the other entry on the other side. And then I went through this thing of SAP and figuring out where this entry gets lost and figuring it out. Today, so you transform and your role gets redundant, you have to reinvent yourself. So with that it gets reinvented, but HR's role is to make sure you get the best out of these people and put them right back in the new roles we have, and two different things.
The link between HR and business was also raised at this event.
You cannot separate HR from business, right? If you just stand as I am HR, I do these things, right? For example, if you don't know the business, there might be the most crucial time, right? Everybody has to rally around, and HR might call for a happy day or happy evening or something like that, right? So that cannot happen, right? No, that used to, right? But now it can't, right? So that's why the HR head should be on the board, right? He has to be on the main board so he can call it out, because we are aggressive, right? When making decisions, making quick decisions. So there has to be that HR has to be part of the business. Sure. It cannot be a standalone judge or not like an internal audit division, right? It has to be like finance. Part of the business.
The event saw the participation of a wide range of HR experts. State Minister of Finance Dr. Ranjit Siambalapiti announced that the first quarter of 2024 has surpassed expectations in terms of state revenue. During this period, Sri Lankan Customs, Excise and Inland Revenue Departments collectively earned an impressive 834 billion rupees. This performance exceeded the revenue target by 6%, surpassing the expected revenue of 787 billion rupees. Looking ahead, the government anticipates a substantial income of 4,106 billion rupees for the entire year of 2024.
The Newsfirst Finance Report.
Now in some tragic news, Prema Kure, an icon in Sri Lanka's tourism sector, who was honoured with the Tourism Legend Award in 2012 and former chairman of Aiken Spence PLC, has passed away. A long and a colourful journey, Prema Kure was a former chairman of Aiken Spence PLC and counted well over 30 years experience in the travel and tourism of Sri Lanka. A proud product of St. Benedict's College, the late Prema Kure was awarded the Legend of Tourism by the Ministry of Tourism as well.
Season 16 of MasterChef Australia premiered yesterday with a new batch of contestants showcasing their culinary skills. One of the dishes put to the test was Sri Lankan breakfast, and this meal took the judges by surprise.
Julie, you are Australia's first ever MasterChef.
The 16th Australian season of the globally franchised reality television show, where budding chefs compete against each other in judged cook-offs, premiered last night. This adds significant importance to Sri Lanka, as Savindri Pereira, an Australian with Sri Lankan roots, is one of the 22 contestants taking part in this season of the program.
Wow! Look at those colours pop!
Fascinating.
Oh, it's like a painting.
What is it?
That is Sri Lankan breakfast, which is milk rice and blackened coconut snapper, and I put Sri Lankan treacle all over that.
Tell me about yourself, Sat.
I love hosting, love having friends around, love having dinner parties, and Sri Lankans always eat family styles. People just gorge themselves silly, and if they're not rolling out of the door by the time they came, I've not done my job properly.
So, is there someone that you cook for at home?
I have a boyfriend. It's very new. So.
But now it's on national TV.
Yeah.
Is he Sri Lankan or?
Oh, he's like a block of white chocolate.
Right.
He's Australian. So. I can't believe I said that on national TV. Oh my God.
It's beautiful. Your sauce is very authentic. The flavors is just impeccable. The fish is beautiful. It's delicious. It's incredible. So well done.
Thank you.
All I can say is that food is a celebration. It's surprising, it's delicious. My Lord, it's even brunch. But I'd have it for breakfast, brunch, lunch and dinner.
I do too.
And midnight munchies, and even if I had a hangover. So you have created an incredible dish, and I think it's amazing. Well done.
The layers of flavour that keep unveiling as you taste is just incredible, magical. That treacle just knits everything together. Amazing.
Thank you.
Well done.
Savindri, 30 years old, is a banking consultant from South Australia.
10 people have died after 2 Navy helicopters collided in mid-air during a military rehearsal for Royal Malaysian Navy Parade.
Tonight on The World Today, we'll delve into the latest developments from around the world.
In today's edition of The World Today, we're shifting our focus to a helicopter accident that happened in Malaysia, where tragically 10 people were killed when 2 Navy helicopters, which were rehearsing for a naval parade, collided mid-air. Now, social media footage showed that one of the rotors of the helicopter collided with the other, causing the crash.
Yes, Ditmini. Now, the incident had taken place in the Malaysian town of Lumut, which is home to a Navy base. The Royal Malaysian Navy said it will form a committee to investigate the cause of the incident.
One of the helicopters, HOM M5033, with 7 people on board, is believed to have crashed onto a running track. The other, a Fennec M5026, carrying the other 3 victims, crashed into a swimming pool nearby.
Ditmini, now moving on to more tragic news. Residents near the Ghazipur landfill reported throat and breathing irritation due to the toxic smoke emitted by the fire. Now, 15 hours since the fire started, poisonous smoke left people with itchy eyes, where many people have not even sent their children to school.
Residents accuse the Municipal Corporation of Delhi and the Delhi government of not taking any action to give a better life to them. The police has registered an FIR against unknown persons under Section 336, Act Endangering Life or Personal Safety of Others, and 278, making atmosphere noxious to health.
Delhi Bharatiya Janata Party chief Virendra Sachdeva said the fire was an example of corruption of the Aam Aadmi Party government and promised to remove the garbage dump within a year if the BJP is elected in Delhi. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal had, ahead of the 2022 MCD election, promised to clear the landfill site by 2023. But the mountain of garbage continues to grow.
Now, looking at more news from India, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who was imprisoned and is in the Tihar jail, was administered insulin after his blood sugar levels soared, reaching 320. Now, AAP leader yesterday accused the Tihar jail administration of not providing him with insulin despite several requests.
Kejriwal's accusations were met with a rebuttal from the Tihar jail administration, which claimed that during a video consultation with specialists from All India Institutes of Medical Sciences, neither the issue of insulin nor its necessity was raised. A city court had directed AIIMS to form a medical board to assess Kejriwal's medical needs, particularly regarding insulin.
Now, the court highlighted discrepancies between the Delhi Chief Minister's dietary regimen, which consisted of home-cooked food, and the doctor-prescribed diet. In a letter to the Tihar jail superintendent, Kejriwal rejected the jail administration's claim that the issue of insulin was never raised by him in his consultations with the doctors.
Kejriwal insists that he had raised the issue of insulin demand persistently over the course of 10 days. The Aam Aadmi Party had alleged that the Tihar administration withheld insulin from Kejriwal, alleging a conspiracy to harm him.
Delhi BJP President Virendra Sachdeva has claimed that AAP leaders aim to generate public sympathy for Kejriwal's health during the Lok Sabha elections.
Now, Ditmini, shifting our focus to the West, a prosecution in Donald Trump's hush money trial accused the former president of a criminal conspiracy and cover-up to hide a sex scandal ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Now, setting out the case for the defense, Trump's lawyer said his client had committed no crimes and that it was not illegal to try to influence an election.
Trump is accused of trying to cover up a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels before he won the race for the White House back in 2016. He has pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records and also denies having an alleged sexual encounter with Stormy Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford. And with that, we wrap up this edition of World Today. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Nithmini De Silva.
And I'm Hashni Pathirana. It's back to the studios.
On to your sports news. Sri Lanka star batter Chamari Athapattu became the top-ranked batter in the ICC Women's ODI batting rankings.
Covering Sri Lanka to the highest successful run chase in women's ODIs has seen Chamari Athapattu go to the top of the ICC Women's ODI batting rankings in the latest update. Athapattu's stellar knock in the third and final ODI helped Sri Lanka level the three-match series in South Africa. Chasing a record target of 302 to win, Athapattu led Sri Lanka's fight back with a brilliant 195 not out, the third highest score in women's ODIs. It's also the second highest score by anyone in a successful run chase in ODI cricket, men's and women's, right behind Glenn Maxwell's 201 not out against Afghanistan in the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023. The knock saw Athapattu achieve her highest ever rating, 773, in the women's batting rankings. The Sri Lankan also jumped 2 spots in the all-rounder rankings to enter the top 10 at 9th position.
Chamari Jangani Kumari Athapattu.
And with that, we wrap up Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.